go.
Let's go.
Herb. Yo, I don't think we should talk.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, why not? People might misunderstand what we're trying to say, you know?
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk.
Coitus. Giggity.
Sexy.
Can we just talk?
You're listening to Pleasurable Noise on the Voice of NASA Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
What you say, boy? You tryna play coy like a game boy? Hit my phone, boy. Is your homeboy? Are you alone, boy? Come get me dome, boy. Got a boy with degrees, a boy in the streets, a boy on his knees, he a man in the sheets. Sheesh, it's all Greek for me. Got this boy speaking Spanish. Ay, papi. I like big boys, itty bitty boys, Mississippi boys, and the city boys. I like the pretty boys with the bow tie. Get your nails did, let it blow dry. I like a big beard, I like a clean face. I don't discriminate, come and get a taste. From the playboys to the gay boys. Go and slay boys, you my fave boys. Baby, I don't need you, I don't need. I just wanna freak you, I want it. I heard you a freak too.
It's another episode of Pleasurable Noise on the Voice of NASA Community College, 90.3 WHPC. And here with me is comedian Kristen Tinsley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. So,
awesome.
I know you from mutual friends like Rudy and Fat J, and I've seen some of your comedy shows.
Thank you, Fat J, yep.
You guys do a lot of positivity. How's that going for you? I see you at I Love Kickboxing. That's one of your bits. How's that? You have any new shows coming up?
I do. Actually, this weekend I'm going to be with Miss Olivia London in the little room at Governor's for the Lipstick, Lashes, and Laughter show. I will be the opening act for that. And then on December 13th, I have my big 39.5 birthday show at Coaster's Tavern in East Meadow.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. One more year before the big 4-0. Yeah.
So what you going to do? Just hang out, drink, and party all night?
I am definitely going to be drinking and partying, and there's a lot of comics on the show, so it's going to be pretty crazy. You should definitely come on by. Wait, are you 21 yet?
Yes.
That's right, you are 21.
You saw me drinking at the bars. Like,
that's true. The first time I met you was at the little room at Governor's, and you were doing, some media coverage, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That was me.
I'm for hire if you need me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I will definitely keep that in mind since we're on the same vibe.
Pretty much. I was like, Jay, hit me up if you need anything. He's like, I got you.
Aw, yeah.
So, anyways, through messaging you, I found something else out. You are a mistress.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about.
Well, it's a sexual preference that it's a preference.
It's a preference.
It's a preference.
How long have you been doing it?
Well, I only ever had one guy that I found that was interested in it. It was funny how I found him. He actually found me. I was messing around on Craigslist. I know it's old school. I was messing around on Craigslist. I was venting. I was newly single. I had been in a relationship for 7 years, and it was just the worst relationship ever. And I was looking for a new experience, and actually seen female domination in a porno. And I was like, wow, I'm like that. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
And then I put some random ad out there. I wasn't looking for that. I put some random ad out there, and this guy hit me back, and he was kind of shy and coy about it, and he's like, I'm looking for, I was like, you can take me out on a date. I'm not going to talk to you. You can order my food for me. I'm still not going to speak to you. You can tell me all about you. I'm not going to talk to you. You can open the door for me. You can do all this stuff. Not realizing the type of energy that I was putting out there, because it just kind of felt like every time I tried to put myself out there to try to find a guy, they didn't want to have a conversation. They always wanted to just send me, a pic, what type of pic I'm talking about.
Right.
And they didn't want to talk. They just immediately wanted to jump into the sex part. So it pissed me off, because I hadn't been single for 7 years. I had no idea what was going on out there. So then, he asked me to be his dommy, and I was like, what's that? I had no idea.
So it was a whole new world for you?
It was, and it was extremely freeing, because, and I'm going to get into it, being a big woman, I didn't feel, and And plus, I had been with the same guy for 7 years, so I wasn't used to being around anybody. I wasn't used to being naked in front of anybody. Nothing.
Now I have a question.
Sure.
What was your other spouse like? Your person you were with previously. What was his build? Was he also big?
No. He had a beer gut, but he wasn't. He had a pretty decent body. He was a little husky, but he was not a big guy, like huge. He wasn't like overweight or anything like that. I was probably definitely at my heaviest when I left him.
Right.
So I had weight loss surgery a year ago, down about well over.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look so great.
Thank you. And I felt very insecure. But then when I started watching other domination videos, they weren't naked.
Right.
They didn't have to. And plus, when you get away from somebody that you were with for 7 years, you don't. It's like now I have this other guy touching me and saying all these things to me, and I didn't want that. And I felt beaten down as a woman because the relationship was just so like toxic and awful that it actually felt good to slap the shit out of a guy and he's not going to do anything back to me. He's going to take it. He wants it. He likes it.
Right.
And it was very freeing, and I could do my hair, I could put on my makeup, everything was going to stay intact. I could wear my lingerie. It was great.
Did you play any type of roles when you guys were together? Like, did he ask you to be anybody specific? Or did he ask you to be Miss Chloe tonight?
He first started calling me Mistress, and I told him not to because a mistress is a whore that sleeps with other men's, another woman's husband. And that's not me. And then he says, well, I don't know what to call you. I said, well, you could just call me, Kristen. And he's like, well, that's not fun. And I'm like, well, I'm the one that's supposed to be having fun here. Like, I just completely dove into that role. And then one morning he called me Goddess.
You like that one better?
I loved that. I was like, let's stick with that.
So what about being in that role empowers you? It just gives you this type of feeling of letting go from all the frustration?
Yes. It's more about, I liked finding out what other type of things it was that we would text each other literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From morning to noon to night for 3 years. Our minds were entangled in sex. And I loved the control that I had over him because and we would just constantly just keep switching it up. So it became my It wasn't his anymore, it was mine. And that's how it was supposed to be addressed. I told him what color underwear to wear. I demanded that you go into the bathroom and take pictures of, whatever I wanted you to take pictures of. It was that. But then the frustration slowly started to go away. And then I started to become a different woman from it. Where it was like, okay, I'm not being abused by anybody. I'm free. I'm single. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm providing pleasure to this man who's coming to me who wants something so desperately, and I was going to fulfill that need. So,
right. How long did that relationship last?
3 years.
Why did it end?
Well, it didn't end. We just kind of faded out and just went our own separate ways because I just wasn't.
You weren't into beating on someone for the rest of your life, and you weren't into that.
Well, see, that was the hard part. I couldn't because this wasn't me. It wasn't. Yes, am I a dominant woman? Sure. I take care of. I'm single. I work 2 jobs. I take care of everything I need to take care of. I pay my own bills, pay my own rent. I don't, that's
so you're
just
an independent woman.
Exactly, an independent woman, or a survivor. I take care of myself.
Yes, Beyonce.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. So I just, but I'm also a writer. And this was a new experience for me. And from this, I came up with a story called Destroy Me about a dominatrix who, goes out into the world and is trying to immerse herself in, having a normal relationship, a normal sex life, and actually meets and falls in love with somebody and finds that she can't do it. Right. She has to stay within that role, and it's destroying to her and him. And I got some other, cool, epic stuff, material from that because it's a whole different world that you have to explore. And if you're going to be a writer, you have to live within those characters. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't understand how that was going to happen. I didn't even know how it was going to end between me and the slave. I had no idea.
Wow.
So it just kind of faded out because he really wanted to go in directions that I wasn't ready to go.
What was he asking you to do? Did it get so like surreal in terms of, because the first time I've ever tried BDSM, he asked me to call him his white slut or his white piece of trash. I was like, I can't.
You couldn't say that? Did you have feelings for him?
I didn't have feelings for him. It was weird because I don't, like, for me, I don't think that there's any, for me, it's a matter of race because I'm black and you're white, and it's like no one to me has an equal plane in any field or like anybody's better than the other. So for me to just say, you're a piece of white trash or you're a piece of it's just like, I don't want to hurt you.
I don't want to hurt you.
I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. There was definitely a level of, when I watched other dominatrix do their thing, I was like, I can't do that. And he would ask me to strangle him, and I could do that.
Yeah.
But there was a certain way of doing it, so you didn't kill him, obviously. And I did slap him a couple of times, but he liked that. He wanted me to tie him up and really just go crazy on him, and I just said, I have a soft spot. I really can't do that.
Right, like there's no safe word here. Like I don't
right.
Like I can't, I might slap you. It's like a really like soft slap. Like,
right.
I don't want to hurt you. Yeah, we can get into it. And yeah, I'll probably get a little crazy, but I can't just be like, I'm going to scratch the crap out of you. I'll feel bad after.
Yeah. There's certain things that I feel like when it comes to men, they can take more. Mm-hmm. And when it's just a woman that they're paying to do this, she's accepting money, so she's going to do it. I never got paid anything to do this. This was literally like a relationship that we had. But if he went to a professional, dom, she would do whatever was asked of her.
I'd be like, shut up and just take it, bitch. And
exactly. That's what they... Right, that's what they do. But that's a different thing when he's asking you, oh, call me, you're, white slut, all this stuff or whatever. I mean, I don't know.
I can't do that. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh no, you're my white whore trash, and I can't, like the minute you bring up the N-word, I'm like, oh no, we're out of here.
That is definitely.
And I realize it's like a number one like search thing on Pornhub. If you look it up, I'm like, race play
porn. Yeah,
it's gross.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would be like, I mean, I never watched that. I might tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, it's out there, and if it turns you on, and people would think that like something like this would be taboo years ago. Mm-hmm. Just dominating a man and exploring different ways to give a man an orgasm and being able to do whatever you want and be able to take that time to find different ways to bring him pleasure is great.
You ever tried pegging?
Yes.
Oh gosh, tell me about that experience.
It was definitely not... I wasn't nervous about it at all because I had seen it in plenty of porns. And I had read a book about prostate stimulation, and I knew, okay, let me back up, okay? Let me just back up.
Explain.
I met this, and this is crazy, and he would hate me if I said this, but he did not care. I met this soldier when I lived in Brooklyn, and he was in the war.
Freaks come from Brooklyn.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He was in the war, and he lost his penis in battle. I'm not kidding. It is real. It can happen. It got
blown off?
Yeah. So he had a girlfriend. And
how?
I guess they were together for a long time, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to make this work.
That's a ride or die right there.
She definitely was, and they're married now.
Okay.
But he was just like, listen, I don't ever have to worry about having an orgasm again. It's all about her. It's not going to be about me. And I was just like, yeah, but there's a little magic button. Thank you, God, called the prostate that you can stimulate, and you can have a really good orgasm from that. And then from there, they found out that, yes, that's true. So pegging actually is very good for stuff like that, for men that have erectile dysfunction, for men that don't, unfortunately, don't have it. It is real. It can happen.
And I'm going to bring this up, but...
That's why I wasn't afraid of it.
Oh, no worries. I'm going to bring up an even like darker topic, like how black men and the black community hate it when you bring up putting something up there. I just want even just a finger,
right?
Like they're like, they'll go as far as, you can look the hole, but if I want to stick my finger up there, it's a problem. Like I'm just like, look, I'm telling you, if you just give me a minute of your time,
right,
I could show you a whole new world,
Jasmine, a whole new world.
No, that's some gay. right there. I can't do that.
No, see, they right, but they want it. But it's also, people think, oh, that's disgusting. It's gross. Listen, if the person is decent, if it's not spontaneous, if it's planned, you clean yourself out, whatever it is. A guy that's into it would know how to do that. But I mean, come on, that's what God put it there.
The first guy I ever pegged. I came over there, and this man was like, I used the toys the night before. Now, if you're gonna see a woman and you invite her over, would you not clean the toys?
Oh God!
Before she gets there,
that's
toy.
Disgusting.
I walked out. I was like, "Oh, honey, this is not for me." And you a nurse? I ain't coming to your hospital. Which one you work at? I'm not coming.
That's crazy.
He told me he worked at a hospital. I'm like, doing what? I hope it was maintenance, because I don't see you touching any needles.
Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah, no, there was never anything like that. We definitely started organically. I picked the smallest that I could find. It was literally probably about the size of my ring finger, and I have a pretty big ring finger. And I read up on it, and I watched the porn, and I remember the night before trying to get the strap-on belt to work, and they're just not made for big girls. I'm sorry, they are not made for big girls.
Really not.
But that also opened up another world.
My last notch, because my ass is so big. It's just like,
listen,
I have to poke a hole in it.
I went through I had a pair of Spanx that I stopped wearing because I just hated them. And I took the Spanx and I cut a hole and I put the straps on. I tucked the straps into places that I could tuck them, because you got the curves. You can do that.
Yes, you can.
And it worked perfectly. No mess, nothing.
As a holder,
Yep. It was a nice little holder. That some of these curves here could hold a lot. So yeah, I mean that also opened up another world, because all these toys. I have so many toys, and I just started exploring all these different vibrators and different toys and different things to do to him.
So what are the different erogenous zones for people who are listening? And those of you who are listening, this is the voice of NASA Community College. You're listening to Pleasurable Noise, and this is me, Kristen Tinsley, Long Island comedian, DJ Rocky Lee here, and we're talking about stimulating men.
Yeah.
And if you're just walking in, you're like, I'm gonna walk out.
No, they're listening. Trust me, they're listening. A lot of men, because you know what? Cosmo has been writing about it lately.
Yes.
And when Cosmo starts writing about it, Men's Health magazine is actually writing about it. Get with the program, men. Get with the program. It feels great. You're gonna love it. It is not gay. It's perfectly fine. Your anatomy was built for that. So maybe you're supposed to be stimulated that way. I mean, come on, think. Back in the day, back in the 90s, we used to talk about the chode.
What's the chode?
The chode is actually how you can stimulate the prostate outside. And the chode is actually located right underneath the
I never knew what that was called.
Chode. That's what the 90s girl will call it, a chode. That's what we did all our skater boyfriends back in the day. It's not get it twisted. But yeah, you put your finger right there. Rub right there if he doesn't want to go that far. Or just kind of like spring it on him, but don't go anywhere near, because some guys don't like that. But if you rub that area, and also men try to act like they don't like their nipples touched.
I love it. I love when they shiver.
They love it.
Like,
they
I
love
twist it and like pull it out a little bit and just bite on it.
Bite on it. They love it. The best part, I mean, men, and to be honest, I loved having a slave, because it was like my own personal, sex doll that I could play with, and I could find out what's good, like what actually works. So this way, later on down the road, when I have my own personal boyfriend, he's going to be in for quite a surprise, and he's like, I like somebody who's open-minded. I like someone who's a pervert like me.
Honestly, I've been on the dating sites, and I've only been looking for bisexual men.
Really?
Yes, because of the fact that I feel like they're more open-minded.
They're going to let you.
Yeah, they're going to let me. They're not going to be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. No. They're like, I'm open to it. Like, can we try this? Can we try that? And I met this guy, and he's so fine. Oh my God. I had him over this weekend, and I was asking him about it. He's like, yeah, I listed as bisexual because I like sucking guys. I was like, oh, that's kind of hot. I'm like, I love that, and I'd love to see that. He's like, yeah, I'll have another friend. Like, I would love to invite you to a threesome. I was like, that's kind of a
Is your friend equally as hot?
Right? I'm like, is he as equally as hot as you? And can he, like, is he as big as you? And
No.
I was like, damn. I was all excited. I was like, wait, let me not get too, like, hyper right now, because, like, you know, safety first and stuff.
Yes, always be safe.
Yeah,
always be safe.
I was like, I don't even know this guy. I'm like, maybe I should, like, you know, back up and not get too excited before it. And he's like,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, listen, I think a lot of women fantasize about being with two men, especially if the two men hook up with each other.
Oh, God.
Like, that's always the ultimate, you know, fantasy.
I search gay porn just to watch them make out and, like, be extra.
Yeah, but nice gay porn, not like
not like the, this is
the hairy bear, like.
I saw it on Shameless. I'm like, what is going on?
No, on my Shameless. Oh my God.
That's like the worst show to walk into. You're always catching something. I'm like, what is going on?
Like, what is it? Well, she pegged this too. She did.
Yeah, she did.
She did. And I was just like, yes, girl. Do it. Do it. He loved it. He loved it.
Oh.
He loved every minute of it. I mean, listen, if it came down to, it's not something that I need to do, but I'm really hoping that I find an open-minded partner who is willing to explore.
Right.
I need to stimulate your mind. I need to send you dirty nasty text messages all day long. I need to start the sex as soon as it starts, and then when we get home, we can see what's good.
Right.
That's perfect for me. Like, that's fine. But as long as you're willing to watch porn with me, you'll go to strip clubs with me, you'll do all of these things because I like to do this stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I like to know that my man is my man, and that's it. You know, it's not, you know, you're not going to go out and sleep with the girls because I'll kill her.
What's your idea on threesomes? Because, well, for me, I feel like it's like if I'm in a relationship, I feel I prefer a full swap versus an actual threesome, because I don't know if I could take another bitch in my relationship.
No, because you know, listen, I'm much older than you, and I've seen a lot.
I don't think that much older.
I don't know, but I'm older. Somehow I'm older. Listen, don't let another woman in your bed. If you love your man, sex is sex, but see, women sometimes, when they have sex, they get stimulated in another way, in an emotional way.
Right.
And that emotion leads to an attachment. It's not their fault, it's biology, okay? And you don't want that attachment to because he's not going to feel that way. He's just going to feel like, oh, this is my wife or my girlfriend over here. You're just, the girl in the bed.
Right.
And she knows that. And that could lead to feelings getting hurt or obsession or jealousy or stuff like that. And plus, you got to sit there, you got to watch him have sex with another girl.
Which can get very, it can make your ego just go way down. Like, what if she feels better? Or what if, he's thinking about her, that's, the things that he's not getting or the things that you don't have that she has. And I'm like,
right.
Those are all the things that are going through your head. And I'm like, that's not something I want to be in the position to think about.
Right.
Like, I need to be the center of attention. I am a brat.
So then that's the way you keep it.
Like,
and if that's the part about being open-minded that I hate.
Right.
Because you don't know how tight the reins need to be. And you also have to be careful what type of guy. Because some guys will be like, hey, listen, we're in an open relationship. I can do whatever I want. I can talk to whatever girl I want. I can do whatever I want.
Not for me.
No, not unless you want to be burying bodies in the desert, because I'm crazy.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care.
No. Fed it to you.
Right. Like, that's my man. Keep away. Like, that's not okay. Listen, if I want to take him to a strip club and, he wants to get a lap dance from another girl, I will totally show girls that. I will totally sit there and watch him get a lap dance from another girl and enjoy it. I don't care. But I probably wouldn't let him have sex with her. It would have to be a girl that I could leave behind and just be, okay, we're in another state, you're hot, we're going to have sex with you, and I'm going to watch, and we're just going to move on, and you're never going to see her again.
I made the mistake of doing that, and the first time I ever did it, he would lie and be like, oh, we were not hanging out that day, but then when I re-asked the question, like, we were just chilling. I'm like, but you said you guys weren't hanging out. So all of a sudden it turned into chilling. He's like, yeah, we made a, made a stop by for like 10 minutes. She had my, chain from the other day when I stopped over. I was like, oh, but we're in two different states. So I'm like, rather than lie to me, just tell you that you did it, but I hope hope you use contraceptive, because at least, you know.
That's another thing. Listen, not only do we have to worry about STDs and HIV, you also do have to worry about cervical cancer.
I have HPV, so it's like...
It's rampant.
Yeah.
You have to consistently get that checked.
I always get checked every 6 months because I don't know what could happen. I just want to be on top of it.
It's fatal.
Yeah.
I had a very close family member die from that.
Wow.
She did not know she had it. It was stage 4 by the time they found it, and she didn't know she had it.
She didn't have any symptoms, nothing?
She did.
She did, but she ignored them?
She ignored them. That's a very slow-growing cancer, so she probably got it before.
Yeah.
But she's not here.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in our age group, for some reason, it's very rampant. It's almost like, and they don't have a test for guys, so you don't know if you have it or not.
Right. No, like Ali once said, it's like a ghost in men's bodies, and it says boo in women's bodies.
Exactly. So you have to be very careful. And I understand the draw of having unprotected sex. I understand. Whenever I go to the gynecologist, I always get tested for STDs. I always get tested for HIV. I always get tested for all this stuff because you have to.
Right.
And some people, I see so much like unprotected sex and stuff. It's like it only takes 2 seconds to contract something. Mm-hmm. Be safe.
Right.
Don't mess around with your body. Don't mess around with your health, because you have to think to yourself, you're in your 20s now, okay, and you're going to catch some crazy disease, and then by the time you meet the love of your life, he may not want you. Now you got to sit across from somebody and be like, oh, by the way, I have something. That's not good.
It's never a good conversation. It's not a conversation I ever want to have, so I always make sure that that's something I do, and I schedule to do on time every 6 months, to ensure that, like, because I know I'll be hoeing around. I just, I'd be accountable for that hoeing. I know that I need to go get checked, and because it's not something I want to talk to somebody about. I want to make sure that when I present to myself, even if something does, God forbid, happen, even though I use condoms, that I'm clean.
Right. You have to be sure of that, because you want to have babies one day. You want to make sure that, it's something that people don't like to talk about. And unfortunately, when we get into relations, like we're cautious when we're single and we're out there, we're sleeping with people. Mm-hmm. But then when you get a boyfriend, he's like the Virgin Mary. He's never slept with anybody. No, make him go. You need to know the status. Mm-hmm. Make sure that he doesn't have anything. You don't know where he's been. It's just, it is what it is. And eventually, we're gonna live in a society where you're not gonna be able to pick who you want. It's gonna be who either has the same STD as you or who doesn't have it.
Well, that's a sad reality. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I would like to thank my guest, Kristen Tinsley, who is a stand-up comedian, and thanks for telling your story about being a mistress. This is DJ Rocky Lee Savage, and you're listening to Pleasurable Noise. This show will be available on podcasts, iTunes, Android podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at pleasureablenoise@gmail.com. That's pleasureablenoise@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and join us again next week here on the Voice of NASA Community College, 90.3 WHPC.